Oftentimes people want to know what visual storytelling is. Visual storytelling is actually a product of visual communication. Visual communication is when you graphically represent information to effectively create meaning. Now, visual storytelling is when you wrap that information with a narrative. In other words, you're really focused on telling a story through visuals. That could often be through an animated video, an infographic, or an ebook, but there's always a beginning, middle, and end. It drives the viewer to a conclusion. The opposite of that would be information visualization, where you're not actually trying to drive the viewer to a conclusion, but you're visualizing clear data so that they can come to their own conclusions. When you think about the future of visual content, you have to think about what demand is driving today. 91% of consumers prefer visual content over any other form of information delivery. So clearly we know that there is a demand that we have to meet. So everybody's going to be producing visual content for a very long time, but high quality visual content is where the future really lies. People want high production value, really good story-driven content. They want to make sure that all of those visuals are custom and original, because 94% of first impressions are based entirely on the design of the first piece of visual content somebody sees. You might have heard the phrase visual language and thought, how is this any different than brand identity? Well, the fact is a visual language is all about coming up with a codified aesthetic direction for a campaign or area of your business versus an overarching look and feel for that business. A visual language considers so much more than a typical brand identity. It focuses on illustration style and how to use that. It focuses on how to use icon styles and data viz styles, which often aren't considered in typical brand identity. In 2018, 83% of marketers chose visual content as their #1 method for marketing. The reason they did this is because the demand for visual content in marketing today is higher than anything else. 91% of audiences prefer it over any other form of communication. And the reason is because our brains are hardwired to interpret visual information 60,000 times faster than text-based information. I'm not saying that text is dead, but what I am saying is that today's audiences crave high-quality visual content above all else, and once you hook them with that content, then they'll dive into the text that you want to share. Now more than ever, today's companies need to focus on visual content above anything else. This is where your resources should go. When you think about putting your time and energy into SEO, you might be thinking, well, it's because the Google bots are all reading text. But that's not true. The fact of the matter is visual search is going to be taking over soon. And what that means is Google will be prioritizing high-quality visual content over your keyword-rich text-based content. Google will be able to read visuals far better than ever. And if you continue to invest your time and money in quality visuals, you'll see it pay off in spades in search results.